Hi Alex, this is a review of your practice chanter lesson from October 30th of 2020. The first thing on your list is the AEF exercise. So you're going to want to go to that sheet in your packet, in your binder, and find that where I wrote it out by hand. And I believe that is, it's called, at the top, it actually says siren, low A to E, 55 beats per minute. It's got your name at the top. But you want to go down to the AEF exercise line. And again, this was a line that I made up for you on the spot for the sole purpose of you sight reading the music, right? It's super important to be able to say the names in your head while you see the music on the page. That's the point of this. I'm going to play this at 30 beats per minute. It's a 2/4 march tempo, or 2/4 march, 2/4 time. And basically, I'm setting the metronome up like this, so I'm playing the eighth notes. So basically, you're going to get a click for every single note in the measure. All right? And be really careful when you read these notes. So here we go. So ready? 1 and 2 and now, and you may recall that I did throw that surprise G grace note in the 4th bar. That is something that you worked on with me. You're playing an E. Just lift up your G grace note finger once and play the other E. Like that. Okay. I'd like you to do that line again with me. Here it is. I'll count this out. Ready? And 1 and 2 and. All right, the next thing that we worked on, actually I need to go check your notes, was the G to E triplet. And I wrote out a line for you. I actually asked you to do it 2 times each day, and I wrote out a line in your music with this, and it's basically 2 triplets on the way, 2 triplets on B, 2 triplets on C. So go to that music. I'm setting it up at 35 beats per minute in jig tempo. And when we do jig tempo, it's nice to have the triplets marked out. So you're listening to it, it sounds like this. Okay, that's the triplets. Now, your challenge in this is, of course, to make sure that you get the transitions between the packets of triplets. When you're done with the low A triplets, right, you're on low A, and you need to do a G grace note up to B, and then do them. And then when you're at the end of the B triplets, you're land on B, and you need to do a G grace note up to C to start that packet of triplets. This recording I'm going to do is going to be pretty fast for you with these transitions if you haven't practiced them a lot. But this is your goal. Okay, this will be 2 times a day. If you can't follow along with this tempo, either slow down the tempo on the YouTube setting or just do it on your own and work on those transitions. So here we go. So ready? 1, 2. Again, the whole point of that exercise is to do the transitions. Do it on your own if you can't follow along with the recording. Otherwise, here it is again. So here we go. Ready? 1, 2. And make sure you're reading the music when you do that. Okay, the next thing that we worked on was... need to find our notes here real quick. You probably have it in front of you already. The next thing we worked on was the D throw scale. It's on page 75 of the Green Book, which is in your binder. It is absolutely imperative that you play along with the music in front of you when you do these doublings and scales. The whole point, one of the major points of all of these lessons is to teach you how to read the music. So follow along in the book. Go ahead and get it out. And pause the video if you need more time. The D throw, you want it to be nice and consistent. It does not have to be fast right now. See if you can follow along with this. Ready? And go. Okay, next thing we worked on was the high A doubling. Again, look at the music when you play this. High A doubling, it's on page 76. Remember to hold the second high A, that is the last high A of the doubling, longer. Okay, we're hanging on that high A. Here's the scale. We're not going to do it fast. Starting on low G, actually, even though in the music in the book on page 76, it does not start on low G, right? It starts on low A, but we're going to start on low G, right? There's the high A doubling, double high A. Get the music out. Look at it while we play this, while you play this. Ready? And go. Okay, the next thing we worked on was what I'm calling a challenge. All right, it was sort of right at the end, but I think you're ready for it. I wouldn't have given it to you. And the challenge is the first two measures of the Glasgow Police Piper's Jig. I wrote it out in your notes in your exercise sheet, so you want to go over to that and take a look at it. Now, the first measure is a G-D-E triplet on low A. That's something you've done a lot of. The next phrase after that is a G grace note to C, high A, back to C. The trick here is when you're done with the triplet on low A, you need to be able to connect the end of that, which is a low A, with a G grace note up to C before you finish the phrase. It needs to sound like this. It's all connected. No taking breaths in between those phrases. Again, first measure sounds like this. Okay, if that's too fast, pause the video, play it on your own multiple times until it gets comfortable. The next measure, second measure of Glasgow Police Piper's Jig, is a G-D-E triplet on B. Again, this is something you've done many of. And then you end on B, and then there's a G grace note to C, high A, and then a thumb strike on high A to make that G grace note. It sounds like this. Again, second measure of Glasgow Police Piper's Jig sounds like this. Your challenge, in addition to just playing that, is to connect the previous measure to that measure. The previous measure ends on a C, and the beginning of measure 2 is a G grace note to B. So it's imperative that you get the C, G grace note to B transition nicely, like this. Okay, and then you continue with the triplet there, right? You go and finish out the phrase. So the first two measures of Glasgow Police Piper's Jig sound like this. This is something you need to work up to. It's imperative that you play those transitions well, read the music accurately, and have fun with it.